Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Oh, I'll just adjust my seat. How are you all doing on this Thursday morning? This is Reganelite here. Hello, guys. Hope you're all doing well. Great show by Dave McGuinness, of course. I know most of you guys came in from there. I was definitely lurking for sure there. And make sure you do check out their live stream, the Two Davies live stream later on today at 4 o'clock. Dave McGuinness and David Mulligan with the Two Davies show later on. Do not miss it. It's going to be a very good show indeed. Another good show on today, guys, is at 8 o'clock tonight. Myself, One Angry Pagan, Daily Blase, and Graham Price of Power to the People with a round table discussion. We're going to be diving into what's happening with the war in Iran, the cognitive decline of Donald Trump. Is Keir Starmer getting better or worse as Prime Minister? Is Angela Rayner ready to take over? Lots of questions, lots of discussion for tonight's roundtable for sure. So do join us for that tonight at 8 o'clock as well. I should also just point out as well, next week, we will be back with another non-politics live stream next week on Thursday at 8 o'clock. The last time we did one of these, we did one on films. And we're going to do it on films again. But we're going to pick a particular category of films we'll dive into. Not going to be romance. Sorry for any ladies out there. I'm not into romance whatsoever. But we'll pick a category and we're going to go talk about a lot of variations of different films to look at, guys. Speaking of films, one film that's actually just going off topic before we go into the usual stuff. One film I'm very eager to see is Project Hail Mary. I haven't gone and seen it yet. I know it's only coming out today, I think it is, but I'm going to see it some point next week. I'm definitely going to go and see it. My missus, I don't think she's going to enjoy it personally, but I have to see this film because it's definitely, I've heard a lot of good reviews about it for sure. If you like The Martian, you will like this film. I highly recommend. So for those who are new here, this is the Good Morning Show with myself, Reganelite. Normally what I do on this live stream, I go about an hour long. We stop at 12 o'clock. And what I do, we give today's daily quote, which I'll give to you in a moment. We'll have a look at the weather forecast for the next few days. And then we'll have a look at the news. Today we're going to be looking at variations of UK news. So, for example, the Telegraph, the Times, Financial Times, iPaper, Independent. We'll have a look and see what news headlines and news topics that they're discussing, and we'll share our thoughts among them. We do that for about an hour, guys. No more than that. We always stop at 12 o'clock, just for reference there as well. And we're also live not just on youtube.com/Reganelite, but also I have a Twitch account where I dual stream on as well. So if you do have a Twitch account, do consider following me on there. It's twitch.tv/Reganelite1. I can see the Twitch chat is quiet at the moment. Let me just... Have I even opened the Twitch chat? I have not. No, that wasn't very smart of me. No. So, but if you do have Twitch, do follow me on there as well. I am thinking of one day doing a Twitch-only live stream. Just to see... that is something I'm going to give a try at one point in the future as well. So let's have a look and see who we got in the chats. I don't see... Can I see the top comment? Can't see the top comment. That's a bit annoying for some reason there. Stephen Banker, good morning to you. Hope you are doing well. One of our moderators. Viper Scott, another one of our fabulous moderators. Hope you are doing well, there. Good to see you there. Ange, good morning to you. Ellie has sent us over from Davies to pile on. Appreciate that indeed. Good to see you there, Ange. Hope you're doing well. Kevin, good morning to you. Good morning from Lakeland, Florida. Oh, God. Every time you keep saying you're from Florida, I'm like, I want to go to Florida. I do. I've never been. I want to go. I will. We will go to Florida. That is on my bucket list. Good morning, Ellie. Good to see you there. One of our newest moderators. Hope you are doing well as well. Impersonator, good to see you there. Stuart, good morning to you. Scott Hayes, good to see you there as well. Mel, good morning to you. I see you there. Good morning, fellow Ducky. Hope you are doing well. Doc Davis, of course, one of our fabulous, important, vital doctors here in the chat. Here to look after, and a veterinarian, not really, but we just say that because he's the doc. He will look after the ducks, the badgers, Ollie, and all that here in the chat. Good to see you, Doc. Hope you are doing well. And good to see you there as well. Wee Bud, good to see you there as well. Look in the chat. Just scroll a bit further down. Witchy Goth, good morning to you. Hope you are doing well, guys. Make sure you check out Witchy Goth's YouTube channel. If you're going live today, do let us know, Witchy Goth, so we can make sure we plug your live stream today. If you are planning to go live, be very much appreciated, my friend. Yeah, do check out her YouTube channel. If you're not a subscriber already, please consider subscribing. Thank you, Viper Scott, for the £2 super chat to get the goal started. Yes, we have. I always do a super chat goal of just 5 super chats, minimum £2. Nothing more than that. I don't go above that because that's just being greedy. It's just to count because I don't monetize these live streams, guys. Don't monetize any of the live streams. You know, I always keep it at that. Just 5, no more. You know, no, nothing more than that. And it just helps. It just helps monetize, and it just financially supports me, guys. You know, I could be greedy and ask and put like 10 or something, but nah, it's just a bit too greedy, guys. So, you know, if you can help me get to that goal every live stream, greatly appreciate, obviously. So thank you, Viper Scott. Appreciate that super chat there. And Stephen Banker showing off all the members emojis if you get to become a YouTube member there. And Viper Scott being, whoa, guys, we're not even going to get a chance to get started at the moment. I do apologise here. Thank you, Viper Scott, for the 10 gifted memberships there to Willie Dapper, to Sean, Brendan Chambers, Nature Admirer, Enzo the God, I know that guy, MZ, Sheabaz 79, Frotz 42, I know that guy too. I've seen him on another live stream. Pounce 452 and Firestarter there. Thank you so much for the 10 gifted memberships. Was that definitely 10? 3, 6, 9. Yeah, the 10 all went through. Thank you so much. That's really, really kind of you, my friend. Really appreciate that, my friend. And thank you to you, Ellie, and I think it was Blah Blah and Mr. E who all popped on the super chat. Not super chat, the after chat last night. So appreciate everybody. Appreciate you all who came on just to chat with me last night on the Discord. We're going to do that again. We're going to do that again next Wednesday as well. We'll definitely keep doing that every Wednesday as well. We might do one. I might do one tonight as well, depending as well. I might do one tonight as well, maybe. Or I'll see. So thank you for that. One Angry Pagan, good to see you there, my friend. Hope you're doing well, guys. As I said, Pagan will be on tonight on the round table. Very much looking forward to having him on. You know, we always talk about eco stuff, or we can finally talk about some other things, I'm sure. So I'm sure he's looking forward to that. Make sure you check out his YouTube channel as well. Right, spent 8 minutes there going through all that. Right, so let's get going, guys. Here is today's daily quote. Can you read that? It's a very simple one. Very simple one by Robert there. Very simple one. Come on, Regan, put your teeth in. We rise by lifting others. We rise by lifting others. Very short, very simple. I'm sure you can all understand that quote there from Robert. Tomorrow's one is officially a spring quote. You'll find out if you join me tomorrow at Friday. You'll find out that one there. Right, let's go and have a look and see what's happening with the weather today. What is the weather forecasting today? I'll tell you what, like I said yesterday, guys, I went out for a lovely walk. I haven't been out for a walk yet, but after this live stream, I'm going to, after I have lunch, I'm going to go for a nice walk for sure. I do have some work to do today. We'll see what I can get done as well. For reference, I'm using the bbc.co.uk/weather map. Have a look at what's going on here. Keep telling myself I'm going to look up Yellowknife. I still haven't done it, guys, but there it is. One of the coldest places on the planet in northern Canada there. Minus 20 degrees. Churchill at minus 15. And Anchorage there in Alaska at minus 17. Other parts of Canada there. Winnipeg 1. Vancouver 11. Ottawa 2. Down into the US here. We've got New York at 7. Chicago 13. Nashville 19. Denver sitting at very warm 25 degrees. San Francisco sitting at 19. San Diego at 23 there. New Orleans at 21 with Miami roasting with a nice 24 degrees. Mexico City at 19 there with Kingston at 28. San Jose at 26. Down in the South American continent there, we got Rio de Janeiro there sitting at 27 degrees. La Paz, probably the coldest in the South American continent, they're sitting at 14 degrees there. Lima 25, Caracas 23 there. Manaus, I hope I said that right, sitting at 25 degrees. Plenty of tropical rainstorms as they normally get there. Moving across over to the African continent here, we can see temperatures as high as 36 degrees. Lagos 29 there, Kikishka 28. Dar es Salaam at 27. I hope I said that right. Cape Town sitting at 20 degrees. Windhoek 25 there. Bit of rain on the continent. Not a lot, but there is some on there, which is... It's good to see rain on there because they don't get a lot of rain on the continent. So it's really, really good there. Auckland and Wellington, 16 and 15 degrees respectively there, are sitting on New Zealand. You can see Darwin, a nice toasty 26 degrees on the right north peak of Australia. Whereas right down in the south of the country, you got Melbourne there sitting at 15, Hobart 13 there. Alice Springs, a nice 19 degrees. Brisbane there at 20, Perth 23 respectfully there. Then we've got Singapore there sitting at 27. Philippines capitals at 24. Bangkok 29. Taiwan sitting at 19 degrees. Tokyo, the Japanese islands, sitting at 10 degrees. So not too warm, not too cold there for a change. That being said, the northern islands of Japan are sitting at 1 degrees there. Beijing sitting at 6 degrees there. Dhaka 23, New Delhi 18 there. Chennai at 28 and Colombo, I hope I said that right, at 26 degrees. Bit more into the Middle East there while conflict is brewing. Tehran at 13, Baghdad 15, Kuwait City 19, Riyadh 23, Cairo 18, Port Sudan sitting at 26, very warm for them. Khartoum in 30 there. Crossing over before we get to Europe, what's our friends' temperatures in Iceland? 3 degrees with plenty of snow. They got plenty of snow forecast today for them to be digging out. But that's normal for Iceland there, to be fair. Lisbon and Madrid, 14 and 16 respectively, with a bit of a rainstorm on the western coast of Portugal. Down on the North African coast there, so you can see Tripoli at 14, Algiers at 14 there. Parmelo sitting at 11, Rome 13, at south of France, Nice at 15. Paris there a nice 14 degrees, with Bern sitting at 9. Athens there at 12 degrees. Istanbul, Turkey's capital, sitting at 8 degrees. Antalya 13, Bucharest 6. Cinistu at 5. Zagreb 10, Vienna 13, Prague 10, Berlin 10. Poland's capital sitting at 7 degrees, with Kiev sitting at a cold 4 degrees. Moscow a bit chillier at 3 degrees. Volgograd at 5 there. Riyadh at 5. St. Petersburg 3. And Oslo there sitting at 6 degrees. I should point out as well, just for reference as well, because I don't point this out enough as well. This is at 6 o'clock for reference here. It's not a lot to weather. This ain't going to take long for me to showcase the weather, guys, because there's not a lot to add, really, as I've already mentioned in the past here. Martin, good morning to you. Hope you are doing well. Why can't I see your comment? Is it because of the chat settings? Let me set chat filter to all messages. Maybe that will make it show up there. No, I still can't see Martin's chat. Why can't I see his comment? Everyone's saying hello to him, but I can't see him. That's weird. Oh, there he is. There he is. Hola duckies. There he is. There he is. Yeah, just want to make sure I can see everyone's comments there. So temperatures: Manchester 16, London 15, Cardiff 14, Edinburgh 11, Belfast, Dublin 13. No rain, no snow, nothing like that at all today. If I go a bit further later on, and again, no change. Just a drop in temperatures overnight, which is kind of normal. Temperatures as low as 5, 6, and 7 degrees respectively there. Can be even a bit lower, even as low as 4, depending on Friday morning. So it will be it will be chilly in the morning. It will be chilly in the morning. But those temperatures pick back up very, very quickly, guys. Going back up to decent temperatures by lunchtime there. So it'll be a chilly morning, but the temperatures will pick right back up to 13, 14 degrees. No sign of any rain or snow. Nothing like that. Going a bit more in the afternoon. Temperatures as high as 15 degrees. Even our friends in Scotland are going to get nice warm weather, guys. 15 degrees. Going to be some nice weather there. So definitely enjoy it indeed. Then we go back into the evening. Temperatures will drop again. Not too bad again. 6, 5, 7 there. Looks like we're going to get some dry days there. Looks like there was going to be some overcast of tiny bits of rain maybe on Scotland, but that don't look like it there. And again, same thing again. Temperatures will pick up again. It's going to be a great weekend, guys. Look at these temperatures, for a Saturday here. So if I pull it back to 12 there, we can see those temperatures there. 12, 14, 13, 12. No rain, no snow. A very nice, dry weekend, guys. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Going into the next day here, temperatures again drop down to 7 to 5 degrees there overnight. On Sunday there, if I push it a bit more further here, again, they drop even further there. Some rain looks like they'll be falling down. 7, 6, 5, 4, and 3 degrees here. Going a bit further over, 13 degrees and 11 respectfully here. There is, as you can see there was some rain forecast in parts of Scotland. It's forecasted to fall in Sunday morning in the western, northwestern parts of Scotland. But it is going to dissipate quite quickly. So there will be some rain Sunday morning in some parts of Scotland. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. It will clear up pretty quickly there. Mandy, good to see you there. Hope you're doing well, as well as in Northern Ireland there. But if I push it a bit further over, we can see it will clear up there. Now, what the hell is this appearing at the top of on Sunday evening here? Looks like there is a forecast, perhaps, of snow falling Sunday evening in the very north of Scotland here. It looks like. Nope, it's clearing it. So it's going to be very cold again. So temperatures for Sunday sitting nice and decent. Overnight on Sunday night to Monday morning, temperatures 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 degrees here. So what are we looking at for Monday? Monday again, some decent temperatures, but the dry days are coming to an end, guys. Yep, Monday is, hey, rain. It's the rain, guys. Did you miss it? We'll be back again. He'll be back again. So yes, but yeah. So that's nice. Unfortunately, our friends in Scotland, looks like they're going to get some snow in the Highlands there. Most of Scotland going to be soaking wet Monday evening there, as well as northern parts of England, Northern Ireland and Ireland there on Monday. So, yay, rain. Well, like I said, enjoy the weather while you can, guys. Enjoy the weather while you can. So, and don't you summon it, Regan. I didn't summon it, God did. So you can take it up. You can take it up with God. I'm just giving you the weather forecast. I'm not the one who decides it. I hold no ownership or responsibility here. Maddie says it's 15 degrees here. Lovely spring morning. Absolutely lovely indeed. It is indeed. Let's have a look. Let's start with the news guides here and start with the Tory graph, the Telegraph here, the Reform graph, the Bollocks graph, the Misleading graph, whatever graph you want to put it on here. And it's got Starmer signals migration U-turn after pressure from Rayner. I don't know if we're going to do that. It's going to make the Home Secretary Shabina Mahmood look rather stupid. To be fair, it really is that job, being the Home Secretary, is a death sentence. I think, yeah, for most ministers, because it's one they can't really fix. So I don't know if he's doing a U-turn or not. I have to check other outlets. You know, do take it with a pinch of salt because this is the Telegraph after all. Masks for NHS staff amid confusion over rapid spread of measles tonsils. Yeah, what's the confusion? Put the mask on. Like if it's spreading in your area, put the bloody mask on. That's it. Don't argue it. Just get it. Just put it on. Jerry Adams' IRA was undefeated. North Sea giant ready to explore UK's biggest oil fields this year. I wonder why. Would it have something to do with a certain video that was put out by Ed Conway yesterday morning? Attack on Gale's reopening anti-Semitism wounds at The Guardian. Navy will not send ships to the Middle East because situation is fluid. Labour plots a crackdown on pheasant shooting. Yeah, stop killing birds there. I thought there might be one more. Sneeze, guys, but I couldn't get it out. Yeah. When I think I've done enough, let me just put the hand sanitizer on. Off for a run, says Witchigoff. Enjoy your run. Enjoy the lovely weather. Appreciate you popping in, Witchigoff. Much appreciated. Yeah, do check out her YouTube channel, guys, when you get a chance. Please do. Thank you, Viper. Appreciate that. Uh, why Hezbollah will go down fighting. He lied to me. HR executive caught on Coldplay kiss cam turned on former boss. Woman finds Oscar red carpet in the bin and puts it in her flat. Hitler goes to the polls against Hitler goes to the polls against Zelensky. What? I'm not getting that one. This is not America's war. Oman, the diplomat, rebucks to Trump over Iran. Iran must choose between negotiation and destruction. They've kind of made their choice already, to be fair. Israel attacked Iranian gas fields without my knowledge. Yeah, because you're not reigning in Israel. No one is reigning in Israel. Nobody's doing anything about it. What a surprise. Any other stories? Nottingham police officer apologises for failing to test killer for drugs. On Brighton Beach, feared they would kill her. Labour plots crackdown president shooting. Why Harry and Meghan's 45 million Netflix deal imploded. Fly tippers to be named and shamed. Good. Name and shame them. Yeah, definitely do that. Definitely do that. Inmates routinely carrying weapons in Britain's worst prisons. What are we doing about that? What are we doing about that, if true? Let's have a look at the front of UK just to see if there's any other interesting stories. Says Rayner's tax inquiries will be over in time for May's elections. I've seen that story elsewhere. So that's very interesting, if indeed. Samo is now Angela Rayner's puppet. Really? Like, is that the best you've got? Fat jabs are lower risk of depression. Don't go near the jabs for diet. Just don't. I really can't stress that. I came face to face with a ghostly woman, and then she vanished without a trace. Says woman who woke up from bed, or man that woke up in bed, and woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Just saying. Hard left agitators invade reform social event. Oh, good. They undermined reform. Oh dear. What a shame. What a shame. Labour's been fighting is keeping our borders open. We don't have borders. We're an island surrounded by water, you nincompoop. Oh my god. It's like I saw someone in one of my comment section on my comment section on the channel basically saying Europe has open borders. And I was like, you do realise most of Europe is surrounded by water, right? You do realise that. Some people are really, really stupid. There's no point arguing with people on those some of those YouTube commenters. There's no point arguing with them because they're just so silly. Some of the comments. There's no point having debates with them. They just don't have any. That some of them just don't have any logic at all. And they're trying to justify Brexit as well, which is the most insane thing. They're not even British. You can't. That's the crazy thing. Let's have a look at the Times here. The UK government fight to ban Palestine action explained. I came from nothing to earn my degree. Why am I being penalised? Exactly. Tags to track domestic offenders on probation in real time. Sensitive reforms include a trial which will alert police if a stalker or abuser gets too close to a victim. Labour must fight a next election on the promise to rejoin the EU. No, they can't do that. I've had this discussion already. They can't do that. I've said this before and I've said this again. They can't. There's no point having that discussion if the Conservatives or Reform are just going to undo it. There's no point. There's no point having that discussion. You need to convince them. You have to convince the majority of it's got to be 80% of the public backing it. You've got to have a massive swing of people in support of it. And we're not at that position. More people are in favour than against, than staying in outside. Yes. But we don't have, the margin needs to be huge. The margin needs to be much bigger. May also investigate over Epstein email about 500 billion Eurozone bailout. 500 billion? That's a huge amount of money. Rayner says OBR ignores social benefits of more public spending. They've still got that same news story for over a month now. Stricter migrant rules may be watered down after Iranian's criticism. Yeah, because it's inhumane, that what we're doing. Starmer says everyone else to blame. Has he thought this through? Yeah. Inflation is falling again. It's sitting at 3%. On Times data from ONS. This came out today. The new unemployment figure, I think it's sitting at 5.2%. So unemployment is rising. So that's not good there at all. If we go to the front of UK, I think they'll have some more graphs there. King will visit US despite tensions with Trump over Iran. US officials are expected to stage a display of military strength as Charles undertakes the 3-day visit, which has been planned months in advance. So he is still going to go. Creativity claims victory as Labour retreats on AI copyright reforms. UK fights to keep stronger cannabis products after Brexit reset. IAC's armoured vehicle programme will keep going to, quote, save jobs. $108 bread crude per barrel. The last update was at 4:30 a.m. According to the Times data there. Source from Yahoo. $108, guys. It's only going to get worse. Any other stories here we haven't seen? Our kind boy might be still alive if Bet365 had cared more. Oh no. Yeah, but they don't care about people. They just want their money. House system dying bill collapsed after fierce lobbying in Scotland. Scots sue Johnson & Johnson over asbestos in baby powder. Charity criticises Anwar Sawar for stroke pose joke. He made a joke about stroke. People with stroke. I wouldn't have done that. Trump signal royal family. UK on a national alert as mental illness cases rise to 27. 6 cases of mental illness B after super spreader outbreak in Kent. Started with a headache, then the binding pain began. Students to force a vote on scrapping student loan interest. 1 in 10 new students do not have a single A level. The science behind why bad jokes can be a smash at work in here are few. That 500 billion story by Mandelson's definitely piqued my interest for sure. Just for reference, the Telegraph, the Times, and the Financial Times, all the stories are behind paywalls, guys. So I can't open them up. Yeah, in case you're wondering why I don't open them up, just for reference there. What we got here? The UK is to protect steel industry with new import tariffs. Move brings Britain in line with the US, EU, and Canada, which have sought to bolster domestic product producers. Excuse me. Yes, we need to make sure we're taking all. I really mean sincerely. We need to take all necessary precautions to protect our steel industry here in the UK. We want to be I really do care about manufacturing, and we need to look after what manufacturing we have here in the UK. We really, really do. You know, the decision of Thatcher to take it all away from us was a terrible decision. 2 people have been charged with spying on London's Jewish community on behalf of Iran. Prosecutors said Med engaged in conduct likely to assist a foreign intelligence service, apparently. It's very scary indeed. The UK to produce more anti-drone missiles in show support for the Gulf allies. LMs have proven effective in countering strikes by Iran and its proxies in the region. Starmer called on Baganout to sack Shadow Minister over Muslim prayer. The Shadow Justice Secretary Nick Thompson described public prayers as an act of domination, which it's not. It's not. It's just them praying. It's nothing to do with any kind of act of domination. The comments are misogynistic. It's racist. It's discrimination against Muslims, and he should be sacked. Yeah, for the comments. It's outrageous comments. Absolutely outrageous. Economics raise a UK inflation forecast after energy costs surge. The Bank of England now expects to keep interest rates on hold at its meeting on Thursday today. The Green Party leader pledges $8.4 billion to stop UK energy bills rising. Zach Plansky said the party would prevent increases in household energies through higher taxes on capital gains there. Yeah, see, here you have here's a politician telling you exactly where the money, how they're going to raise the money, where it's going to come from, and what it's going to be used for. Very simple, very simple. I don't even need to open up there to understand what Zach Polanski's planning to do there. Mandelson probe looking into Euro bailout email says Met Police there. Yeah, I need to see that elsewhere as well. Let me see that elsewhere. Hello. Gas prices surged 25% and oil hits $115. As the strike rattles the markets, Donald Trump threatens massive attacks on Iranian gas fields as Tehran continues targeting Qatari facilities. Well, good luck with that, because Iran aren't just going to sit and roll over. Iranian hospitals in Dubai close after UAE suffers a third week of attacks. US could force ships seeking Hormuz escort to buy government insurance. You can't force ships to buy your insurance. You can't do that. I don't see how you can do that. Battersea Power Station dispute with fired CEO over accounts. What's that all about? Genuinely curious. I definitely need to look at this story, this Mandelson story. If we see it in the other place, we'll definitely open it up. KP, LM and Hargreaves Nicholas among employees that have paid less than the UK minimum wage. Why are we paying less than the UK minimum wage there? It's a story on the far right of your screen. The big read has Trump finally united Europe. Japan rebels over $6 billion fee for SoftBank under US trade deal, an exclusive from them. The Bank of Japan postpones rate rise after Middle East war erupts. UK unemployment rate held at post-pandemic high of 5.2% at the start of the year. Yep, we saw that from the Times graph. Calls for the probe after ex-Army Chief presses Minister to buy drones. UK need to protect steel industry with new import tariffs. I do agree we should be buying drones. I think we should be buying drones and stocking up our own drone supply here in the UK. I definitely think we can do that. I do agree with that in terms of the amount of money we're spending on defence. I do think, yeah, we should be utilising drones. And not just expensive ones, cheap ones. We should be taking considering the relationship we have with Ukraine, we should be taking their ideas and adapting them into our own weapon warfare. Cheap, reliable drones, we can store them and use them. If we need them to aid allies, we use them. But I know we should have our own. We should have our own if we don't already. UK considers freedom of information crackdown as requests soar. Wow. That's really bad. That's really bad. Okay. I can't ignore this one. We've got to look into this one. Time to... Where can I bypass this? Can I bypass this? 1 second. Can we bypass this? Can we bypass this? I really want to have a look at this. Yes. Aha, right, let's have a look. Moves to tighten system likely to be met with resistance from campaigners. So British officials were considering a clampdown on the freedom of information system in a move that would spark backlash from transparency campaigners. Government figures are discussing a reduction in the cost ceiling for processing a request as the number of annual submissions has spiraled, according to people familiar with the situation. The soaring number of requests comes against a backdrop of heavily constrained Whitehall budgets, they added. Under the Freedom of Information Act introduced in 2000, the cost threshold for complying with a request is set at £600 for central government and £450 for other public bodies, with staff time charged at a flat rate of £25 per hour. Well then, if it's that big of a deal, don't restrict people's access to freedom of information. Just increase the prices then. I would say increase the prices if it's too much for them. This equates to 24 hours of work or 3.5 working days for Whitehall departments and 18 hours of work for other government agencies. Either do one or two things. Either hire more staff to deal with the more freedom of information requests, or raise the prices. Raise the cost, for people to be able to get that freedom of information request. I know that's what they could do, one or two, but don't deny people the access. They need that access. That's so important. Because I can see the likes of Reform wanting to stop this. Officials said that in 2024, last year for which there is published data. 83,041 requests were received across all monitoring bodies in central government, the highest number since monitoring began in 2005. This was an increase of 12,566 requests, or 18% on the previous year. 12,000. That's a massive increase. 90% of the increase related to National Archives and the transfer, which was taking place over 6 years. About 9.7 million Ministry of Defence Historic Service personal records. Of those requests, 29% were granted in full, 15% were partially withheld, and 30% were completely withheld. According to Cabinet Office statistics, the remaining 26% were not processed within the time frame. Even FOI requests that are refused require staffing resources, piling pressure on the civil servants when headcounts are being cut. Some officials believe AI could reduce the administration costs of FOI, although others warn the technology may lead to an increase in requests. That could happen. But the thing is as well, if you let an AI do this, is that AI going to be understand what is an acceptable freedom of information request and what is not an acceptable freedom of information request? For example, if it were Gaia did sensitive information on something that they shouldn't be sending. Any move to tighten the FI freedom of information system will probably be met with staunch resistance from campaigners. Yep, which is definitely going to happen. Maureen, director of the Campaign for Freedom of Information, said lowering the cost threshold could exclude a proportion of requesters who make valid and often important requests under legislation. This is not the first time officials have sought to bear back the FOI Act. Multiple administrations, including the Labour government, that introduced the legislation examined but ultimately shelved proposals to restrict the system. So they've tried this before and they failed in the past. The Cabinet Office does not publish estimates of the annual cost of the FOI system, but it is thought to run into the tens of millions of pounds. Franco acknowledged that calculating the true cost of the system was difficult because it would involve monitoring at the times that varies officials across different pay bands spent dealing with the requests. Requests will be expensive when they have politically sensitive or contentious because they will be involved particularly in-depth discussions between civil service, he said. Frankel argues that while excessive costs have often cited as the monitoring factor for scaling back freedom of information requests, many governments appear to dislike having revealed certain information that falls within the scope of the system, including discussions in Whitehall. Transparency International UK is also here out the proposals, warning it would undermine the established principle that the public have a right to see government-held data. Yes. Rose Whittaker, the senior research officer at the anti-corruption organisation, said the cheaper way to bring down FOI costs is to publish information proactively, or at the very least, government should analyse the sorts of material repeatedly requested and seek to preempt requests by sharing documents up front. Consultation responses would be a very useful first step. The FT reported this week that the UK government was also concerned that China might be exploiting the FOI requests to collide unclassified data that risks revealing sensitive information. This is why I would be very concerned about an AI chatbot being the one making the decisions to unravel freedom of request rather than a human here, because a human would have a much better understanding of this than an AI. And plus, that AI bot is from a private company, not a public one as well. Discussions about potential security risks are not connected to considerations about reducing the cost of the FOI system, according to people familiar with the discussion. Government spokesperson said the government has strengthened many transparencies and disclosure standards, providing openness to the public while applying clear safeguards where sensitive or security-related information is concerned. Interesting. Yeah, I'm glad we had a read of that, actually. That is very interesting indeed. Yeah, I really do. Like the freedom of information request really does make a big difference to a source of information, and I'm worried about that being under threat. I really, really am. For some reason, I can't click the like button on it because of this device here. But Martin, thank you so much for the super chat there. Paying my PR taxes. You don't have to pay any taxes here, my friend. Thank you so much for that. That was very, very kind of you. I hope you are doing well. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I hate AI chat, says Indie Duckmail. Well, unfortunately, yeah, everyone's going to be talking to an AI bot more and more in the future, whether we like it or not. That is inevitable. Indonesia faces fuel fears as half its population travel for Eid. Brewdog's new owners seek female drinkers to revive brewer apparently there. Those are some of the stories from the Financial Times. Let's have a look at the iPaper, see what they are saying in terms of storylines there. Let's say storylines. Trump is obsessed over his own morality. Inside his fear will damage the UK. Yeah, no shit. Load of BS. Labour's rebel MPs angered by Rayner's migration attack. Well, you know, sorry, I stand more with Rayner on what she said there. Students will be jabbed in their hometown as the infection spreads. An exclusive from them saying Labour's hardline immigration reforms could be watered down after Rayner's revolt. Analysis of this is why petrol prices are a real threat to Starmer. The Rebel Airport fiasco that's left reform in civil war. That story's still rumbling on. I covered that a while ago. The Doncaster Sheffield Airport. I remember covering it. I don't know if I covered it in a live stream or video, but I remember covering it, and the argument is that there was no justification for it because there was no benefit to the airport because the other regional airports not too far from it do the same flights as it does. So there was no commercial benefit. There was no commercial benefit to reopening the Doncaster Sheffield Airport because when they've had it open in the past, it was at a loss, not at a profit. And here's the thing, right? It's all well and good having an airport, but if you're running the same kind of flights that other regional airports in the area are running, and their costs are better, like if you want people to come to Doncaster, Sheffield, and use your airport, right? And obviously you want to use, you've got to offer something. You've got to offer something different. The price has got to be different as well. So yeah, I don't know what's. I definitely want to have a look at that though, because it says it's leaving reform in civil war. I imagine there's different councillors who have different views on it. Drivers who park on pavements face a £100 fine. Why? Really? Everyone does that. Is it behind a paywall? You're going to let me read it. The crackdown is designed to make streets safer for vulnerable pedestrians. Current laws only give police the powers to fine drivers who leave their vehicles in a dangerous position or cause an obstruction. I'm not sure if I approve of this. Drivers across England will face fines for blocking pavements as councillors are handed up beef up powers to crack down on scourge of motorists parking their cars on footways. Ministers are putting forward plans to outlaw pavement parking in all areas outside of the capital, with officials claiming it will make streets safer for pedestrians, wheelchair users and parents with prams. Pavement parking is currently banned in London and Scotland, but councils in the rest of England are only able to place restrictions on certain streets. I don't agree with this. I don't agree with this. For me, it depends. For me, like me personally, okay, I know I'm gonna get attacked by this, okay, but for me personally, like, as long as there is enough space on the pavement for basically a size for a pram or a wheelchair to go through, I don't see that as a problem. Now, if it's a situation where it goes too far on and you can't even get through the pavement with your pram, wheelchair, etc., then that's an issue. But I think some drivers, because I know family who do it, and they give plenty of space when they park on the pavement. I know plenty of people do it. Okay, there are some who abuse it. I accept that. But should it be banned everywhere? I'm not so sure there. You try walking with a pushchair and there's no pavement due to ignorant drivers. I'm not saying that it should, like I said, what I said is that if they park the car right onto the curve and completely block the path, that's a different thing, because obviously that's a problem. But if they leave enough space for people to get their prams or wheelchair through, I don't see that as a problem. But it's if it blocks that pathway, then it's an issue for me. I don't agree with that. I really don't. Because I think yeah, there are good drivers there who there are many good drivers who don't make that mistake. Fly tippers face public shame for having to pick up litter in parks and streets. Yeah, we've talked about that in the past. Any other stories here? Front of news. Why cockapoos are naughtier than pure breed dogs? The worst place for send childcare in England has been mapped by the iPaper. Putin is learning dangerous lessons from Trump mistakes. Putin's not an idiot. Trump is. That's the difference. How Turkish barbers and vape shops could decide the next election. What? How can that decide the next election? Labour's hardline immigration reforms could be watered down. Yeah, we saw that headline already. How the resistance there. Yeah, we've seen that story. I quit Trump's White House. This is what really brought him. This is what really could bring him down. I don't know about it yet right now. I don't know about it right now. And those are all old stories there from the iPaper there. In our old house built in the early 80s, we could park mics away or on a wide pavement outside. The police prefer it as we can watch our own cars. See, for me, the main contentious issue is obviously you have drivers who are good drivers who intentionally, when they park on the pavement, they make sure that there are drivers who go out of their way to make sure that they're not taking up enough of the pavement so that people can pass through their prams and their wheelchairs. I've seen drivers do that. I see there are good drivers who do that. I really do stress that. But yes, the griefers, of course, is the drivers who go right onto the pavement. And I've seen those ones too. And those ones really do pee me off as well, just as much as you guys mentioned in the chat, where they take up too much space. And those are the problem there. But I feel like all drivers are being penalised by this. That's how it comes across to me. Whereas there are good drivers who give enough space. And I think it should be a case of, rather than banning it outright, it should be done a ticking inspector or whatnot. If they see a car that is obstructing too much of the pavement, then there should be a fine issue for them. But if they don't obstruct too much of the pavement, it should be allowed pass. I think it should be a grey area. I don't think it should be black or white. I think it should be a grey area, because I feel like good drivers are being penalised here for something that bad drivers are doing. On it. It's far too common a practice, though. It is far too common a practice, but I point to, like, there are lots, like, we're talking about only the bad drivers. We're only talking about the bad drivers. We're not talking about the ones, who actually make sure there's plenty of space. And I'm not a driver, but I've seen people park very carefully with the intention of leaving plenty of space. It's penalising good drivers because we have bad drivers. It's the bad drivers that need to be penalised, not all drivers. But I know people don't agree with me on it, and that's fine. Sadiq Khan calls on Labour to reverse Brexit in the next election. The intervention comes after Starmer's chief negotiator on the EU reset said the UK will never rejoin the bloc. Bollocks, we will rejoin the bloc. We just don't know when. I'm just going to say this now. I have to remind people of this, okay, because it's really, really important. Why Labour can't say this as much as I want them to say this, and I know it's going to anger people. The reason we can't say this is because Labour cannot guarantee this, because there is absolutely no way Labour are going to, as of right now, Labour have no chance in hell of winning the next general election. And it takes a long time to get back into the EU than it does to leave it. There are lots and lots of negotiations. It's not just a case of, okay, we want to rejoin, and the EU says, okie dokie. You've got to get all of the EU members on board. That's the first thing. You also have got to get majority. It's not just the government just stumping a law and putting it through. You need to have the majority of the public on board, and I don't mean by 54-48 or 60-40. I'm talking like 70-80% of the public wanting this. You need to have 70-80%. Okay, and the reason why I say it's got to be 70-80%, and this is the crucial part, is we have political parties who are hell bent on keeping us out of the EU. And if the vast majority and an overwhelming majority of the public want us to rejoin the EU, it's in their interest to bring us back into the European Union, because it keeps them on side with the majority of the public. If they're against Brexit, it doesn't make it means people are less likely to go to back them there. So there is no point having this discussion about rejoining the EU until we get the vast majority of political parties on board with it and the vast majority of the public on board with it. Until we scratch both those things, as well as a change in our media and how our media talks about Brexit, there's no point having a discussion about rejoining. That's just the reality, and that I've made that point several times with regards to Brexit. So, I'm all for returning to the EU, but I also know it's just a complete total waste of time and money putting time and money into going back in, only for a reform or a Conservative government to take us out when they come back in inevitably. Waspy campaigners prefer fresh legal challenge over pensions there. One Angry Pagan says, I would prefer there be more spaces for dedicated parking rather than allowing parking on what is dedicated for pedestrians. But I get your point. There must be some middle ground on it. Yes, that's where I am. That's where I am on it. There are places where you just cannot do it because there's just no space on the path. Right, 100% agree with that. You can't argue. Right? There are places where you just cannot do it. Yeah, and obviously it is a grey area. It is a grey area. What I just don't want is penalising good drivers who intentionally make sure that there's space for it. It's not me saying, that I don't care about the space on the path for people. No, for me, it's that space must always be there, always be accessible for pedestrians, for prams, for wheelchair units, for all people. What I'm saying is that there's nothing wrong with a car going on the curve, going on the there, as long as that space is available to people. If it's not available to people, then it's a problem. But yes, I get everyone's point about drivers taking up all that space. Yes, I totally agree, and they should be penalised for that. But there are drivers who don't do that, and that's my counter argument to it, respectfully. Rayner's Ally says tax probe to conclude before the elections. She's widely seen as potential successor to Keir Starmer amid rumours of a leadership challenge in the face of devastating approval ratings and questions over the direction of the government. I appreciate the discussion, guys. I appreciate the constructive criticisms of the positives of it. It's nice that we don't always agree on everything, guys, because that it would make things boring. That's for sure. So I appreciate the discussion on it. Allies of Angela Rayner says is said to be becoming increasingly confident that HMRC probes into her tax affairs will be resolved before the mayor local elections. Many see as a moment where Keir Starmer is most likely to be ousted. The ongoing inquiry continues to be seen as the main barrier to Mrs. Rayner's return to frontline politics. Questions remain over her finances. But if the probe were to wrap up before the local elections, it would put the former Deputy Prime Minister in a much better position to challenge the Regan Prime Minister. Well, that's if it wraps up before then. We don't know. We don't know if her tax affairs are going to be wrapped up before then. But regardless of whether they get wrapped up before, after the Daily Mail are still going to scrutinise her on it. She's still going to get scrutinised in one way, shape or form here. Just need to pause for a second here, guys. Oh, we've only got 7 minutes already. Thank you, Stephen Banker, for the £2 super chat. For some reason, this device, there we go. There. Martin Harris says, yes, Payton, we have a driveway now, but the house on the other side don't. There's a 30-foot grass verge between the pavement and the road. I'm not advocating for the removal of that, but 6 foot. Yeah, that's totally understandable, Martin. So yeah, totally understand that point. Yeah. So we can see where the positives and we can see where I can understand why the government is doing this. At the same time, I also see I'm sure people can see my point of view as well about drivers there. But I'm glad we're having this discussion on it. Thank you again, Stephen Banker, for another £2 super chat to reach today's goal. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate that, guys. Thank you to everyone who gave super chats today. Thank you again, Viper Scott, for the 10 gifted memberships. Really Appreciate it, guys. My mum definitely likes Angela Rayner, says Pagan. Yes, Angela Rayner is definitely... She's definitely a lot better than a lot of other MPs in the Labour Party, for sure. Definitely is. But we'll have to wait and see on the tax affairs. You know, this is what people are saying. What else is there? Cyprus president demands talks with the EU, with the UK over future military bases. It comes after he was hit by an unknown man driver at the start of the Iran war, raising concerns the base could be a threat to the island's security. It is a threat to the island's security. President of Cyprus has said he will have an open and frank discussion with the British government over the future of the UK's military base located in Cyprus. He described the base as being a colonial consequence and said the Cyprus government has a responsibility of 10,000 citizens living within the bases amid the escalating conflict in the Middle East. Basically, what the president is basically telling the UK government is, stop allowing the US to bomb Iran on our bases because it could be a target for our country and its people. Is essentially what he's basically saying. He's basically saying kick the US off our bases. Is basically, in short, is what he's saying here. It's literally what he's saying here. Which I totally understand that point of view. So I think the UK government, if like Diego Garcia is a bit different. I mean, it's much farther away, but they could use that one. But yeah, we're putting the people of Cyprus at risk, by allowing the US to use that base. British military experts sent to US to plan Strait of Hormuz reopening. Okay. 2 24-hour tube strikes set for next week have been called off. That's good. UK to buy more missiles for its forces in the Middle East amid Iran threat. PM waves over Mahmoud's immigration reforms after Rayner criticism. Why now is the time for Rayner to try and distance herself from Starmer? Because he's a dead man walking, pretty much. You missed a few super chats. What super chats did I miss? Did I miss another super chat? Oh, duck waves to Quackers. Thank you, Mel, for the thank you for the super chat there. I missed yours. Thank you for reminding me there. Thank you so much for that there. Appreciate it. Sorry, I missed your super chat there. Thank you, Mel, for reminding me. Very rare that I miss a super chat. So thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, do remind me, guys. If I miss a super chat, do let me know, guys. Really important. I don't want to make sure I miss anyone's super chat there. Thank you for reminding me. Appreciate that. Right, we're running out of time, so let's come out of the Independent. Let's have a look at the BBC, guys, before we wrap up at 12 o'clock. A reminder, myself, One Angry Pagan, Daily Blase, and Graham Price tonight will be doing a round table at 8 o'clock. Do join us for that. Plenty to discuss for sure. Police investigation bailout email from Manson to Epstein. So this is it. Police investigating 2010 email Lord Manson appeared to have shared with a convicted sex offender. In an interview with ABC News in the US, the head of Metropolitan Police said officers were looking at whether this was a criminal offence. The UK's former ambassador to the US under investigation over allegations of misconduct in public office. Here it is. One email released by the US Justice Department as part of the Epstein files earlier this year suggested Lord Manson gave the financier advance notice of a $500 billion bailout by the EU to save the alien euro. The evening before the announcement on May the 10th, Epstein emailed Lord Manson to say, sources tell me €500 billion bailout almost complete. The document appears to show Lord Manson applies so being announced tonight. Elson then asked if Manson was home and receiving a reply saying just leaving number 10 will call. So Mark told ABC News, as we said publicly, P. Mandelson, the former ambassador, there is a particular email to do with the bailouts after the financial crash and the sort of, I think, 2008, 2009. It looks like what was shared with Epstein, so we're looking at as to whether that's a criminal offence. Now that Thames Valley Police was also looking at other documents potentially shared by Andrew Windsor, former prince under investigation. He was arrested. Yep, we know about that. Those interviews didn't give us any evidence of allegations of sexual offending or trafficking that we could investigate in the UK. So that's why the investigation didn't go forward. Denied the allegations. So Mark said he was in the US because there was a big body of evidence in the Epstein files and we're going to need the unredacted evidence if any case reaches court. Asked if the US was being cooperative, he said yeah, so those conversations where I expect them to be at the moment. Okay, Interesting. This one here, this sounds very, very dodgy here. The fact that they knew about the 500 billion EU bailout, Manson telling Epstein, and that's definitely raises questions for sure there. Any other stories before we go? House of Lords backs a bid to decriminalise abortion. Interesting. Pay growth at the slowest rate in more than 5 years. UK sets target to boost steelmaking and cut imports. We touched on steelmaking, and did we now? The cost of an online passport application could rise to over £100, guys. £100 to keep your identity. The good news is it's every 10 years, but the bad news is it's still going up. PM urges Baggernot to sack Shadow Minister. Government backtracks on AI and copyright after an outcry from major artists there as well. So those are some of the stories from the BBC there. We'll have to leave the rest for now. Guys, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who came along this morning. Thank you guys for all your comments. Enjoy the rest of the day, whatever you guys have got planned. I'll be back tonight with the round table. Do join us for that. If you can't make tonight's round table, no worries. There'll be a replay. The replay will be up after it's over. Normally we'll finish at about 9:30. But also I'll be back live tomorrow with another Good Morning show at 11 a.m. So if you could join me for that one, it'd be greatly appreciated as well. Thank you to everyone who gave super chats today. Thank you again, Viper Scott, for the 10 gifted memberships. Very generous of you as well. So enjoy the rest of your day, whatever you guys are doing. But on your way out, if you can for me, do check out Rumble and Patreon. There's going to be content dropping every day on those platforms all the way up till Sunday. Do check them out there. And if you're here on this platform, hit the like button, share across social media, subscribe if you haven't already. And do check out our free Discord community as well. And I hope to catch you all very, very soon.